my Doctor Who DVD collection.
Is Captain Jack Harkness the face of both?
Hello and welcome to WhoTube Gallifrey 02. In this video I'm going to be doing my first Doctor Who book review on Only Human, written by Gareth Roberts for the new series Adventures range of books. So yeah, this is my first book review on WhoTube Gallifrey, so hope you enjoy. This week on WhoTube Gallifrey I've done my first Doctor Who figure review and my first CD review, as well as my first book review, which I am doing now. So first I'm going to take a look at the book in general, then I am going to review the contents. So here we do have BBC Books, Only Human by Gareth Roberts. We have the Doctor Who logo here, we have a caveman there, we do have Earth 28,000 years ago, and with a spirally background. Then we do have some darkness up here. Then we do have Only Human. We have a Gallifreyan symbol there. That is actually Only Human written in Gallifreyan. Doctor Who, Gareth Roberts, BBC Books. Then here is the back if you want to have a pause. This is the plot of the book, which I am going to give a summary on as well. And there is all the legal stuff, like how much it cost. This book originally retailed at $5.99. I got it for 99p. And yeah, this book is now out of print, but you can still get it for a reasonable price off eBay or Amazon, probably less, for $5.99. So yeah, that's the book in general out of the way. Now moving on to my review of Only Human in general. So what is Only Human about? So the TARDIS lands in present day Earth, and there the TARDIS team discovered this caveman who has been admitted to hospital because they think he has Ebola. Then they discover he's a caveman when they go to the hospital, and yes, they can't take him back to 28,000 years ago. Mysteriously, he has come through a time warp. And yeah, there are spoilers in this video, so please turn off if you haven't read this book. But I would strongly recommend getting it anyway. So yeah, they have to raise him in modern day Earth. So Captain Jack Harkness takes the boy who has come from 28,000 years ago, called Daz, and helps him adapt to present day Earth, while the Doctor and Rose go back to 28,000 years ago to try and find out exactly what happened to Daz and why he is in present day Earth. When they get to 28,000 years ago, they discover this human colony who have gone back in time to do research 28,000 years ago and discover more about the Netherlands. So yeah, they do experiments back there, and yeah, they want the Doctor, they want the TARDIS, so they can get back to 28,000 years in the future, as they are stranded there. Well, a bit more than 28,000 years ago, it's about 2,000 years in the future they've come from, so yeah, about 30,000 years in the future. The Doctor doesn't let them, so yeah, then they start blackmailing the Doctor, then the Doctor finally gives in, and yeah, just blows up the city pretty much. Then they go back to present day Earth, and then they leave Daz in present day Earth where he's married and stuff. I personally prefer the Daz and Captain Jack storyline to the one in 28,000 years ago, as I think that storyline is a lot more strong, and it's better, I think, that storyline, as I like it that Daz, a caveman, is adapting to modern day life. I really like that, but there isn't enough of it. It should be half and half 28,000 years ago and half in the present day, as I think a lot of the present day stuff is rushed, and a lot of the 28,000 years ago stuff is quite dragged, I think, so it should be an equal balance, I think. So yeah, favourite storyline, obviously the Daz storyline, like the other storyline as well. I just think it drags a bit, and yeah, this book is also very clever. Learn a lot more about the Netherlands in this, who lived on this earth 28,000 years ago, so it's also a historical story, not a purely historical Doctor Who book, but somewhere in between really, all to do with time and relative dimensions in space. So yeah, positives of Only Human. I'm going to do this like a CD or DVD review, give my positives and negatives. So my first positive would be is I love how this book is written. It's written in so many different types of tenses, both in first person and third person. I really like the dynamic of that, and I think it's really clever and unique compared to other Doctor Who books. Yeah, I really like that. A great piece by Gareth Roberts. Also has some comedy moments and quite a bit of innuendo. This book, there is a lot of innuendo in this book. Like there's loads. So yeah, that's slightly negative, as it doesn't appeal to the younger audience, but I suppose the younger audience don't always understand innuendo, so it's alright. So yeah, other positives is I think Captain Jack has a brilliant performance in this book. I think his character is very strong in this book indeed. Before he's immortal, I love it when he's not immortal, as you feel more scared for the character, as you know he can die. Now I knew Captain Jack wasn't going to die, but I felt scared for his character and that he can't take the risks like he does now. As he's immortal, he had to be very careful back then, just like any other human. So I like that about this book. Like Daz, yeah, when I first read it I visioned him as a young child, but then it turned out he was around 20, so that sort of spoiled it. So yeah, bit of a negative as well. They should have described him as a child in the first place, but they didn't. They just described him as a caveman. Yeah, man, not boy. So yeah, should have figured that out then, but they should have said he's shorter or something as well. And yeah, Daz gets married to this woman in present day Earth. However, Daz would have been very short at the time. And yeah, pretty controversial as well, this book, as Daz kind of stereotypes someone from Poland, because he pretends he's from Poland, and yeah, he just pretends he has a long nose and stuff like that. Typical, stereotypical stuff, and yeah, quite offensive, I think, this book. But other than that, it's a good book. So yeah, like the performances in this book, it's very good indeed. And yeah, quite a lot of negatives, only a few positives, but the positives are very picky, mainly other people's thoughts on this book as well. So yeah, strongly recommend getting this book. It is absolutely brilliant. I would rate this book a 9 out of 10. So yeah, stay tuned for my next review, which is tomorrow, and the last of my review streak. After that video, I will not be doing daily uploads. I will be going to every 2 days and 3 days, as ever since I've hit 500 subscribers, I've been doing every day, just missing out a few days, then every day from there on. So yeah, I will be doing 2 to 3 day uploads again, as it's just hard to upload, I think. So until next time, goodbye.
Don't forget to click below and subscribe to WhoTube Gallifrey 02.